Hey guys, this is Imani Humphreys-Torres for City Schools TV, coming to you guys from my house during quarantine, maintaining my social distance. But I want to get the perspective and thoughts of my teachers and how they're dealing with distance learning. Right now, I'm joined by LaQuisha Hall, an English teacher from the Carver Vocational-Technical High School and the 2018 City Schools Teacher of the Year. So, Ms. Hall, how are you?
I am hanging in here, honey.
As we kind of just get into the questions and everything, I just want to know from you, so what are some of your approaches that you're taking with distance learning?
Well, I'll start by saying that it is extremely important to me to ensure the safety, health, and vitality of my scholars. I think it's important that they know that I'm still here for them in general, outside of academics and all of the things that teachers usually approach students for. And I have spent every day since we've been out, every weekday at least checking in with my students daily via Instagram. I've had a classroom Instagram account ever since I've been working at Carver. So this is my 5th year. Former and current students are a part of it, as well as other teachers and a lot of the Baltimore community abroad. And so I have an opportunity to connect with them and have been connected with them digitally even before the quarantine. So it has been somewhat of an easy transition for me.
Okay. Nice. I was just going to ask that too, because it seems you've already kind of had that relationship with your students and having that strong communication, like this transition didn't seem like it was too challenging for you. How do you think it was for some of your students who weren't really used to that level of communication yet?
They're used to it. Even, before the quarantine, if I had given an assignment or a task, or if they ever had a question, they always message me on Instagram. I'm always and have always been in communication with my scholars. Mostly my parents are the ones that text me and have questions. Yeah. But I don't really have a lot of students who aren't connected to Instagram. And so the small percentage of students that I haven't been able to reach, their parents have reached out, or I've reached out to their parents just to let them know that I'm here and everything's okay. But for the most part, you know how Instagram is in the life of a teenager. So
very much, yeah. It's very, very built into the day-to-day.
Absolutely.
So what have you been trying to do to like stay motivated? Because let's be real, now that we're all home and there's no one stopping you from staying in your pajamas all day, I can figure it's a little bit more challenging to like get up and do the work. So what have you been doing to really stay motivated and like focused during this time?
So I'll be honest with you. I did my face up a little bit for you today, Imani, but essentially I've always maintained a routine daily. I did it even during the school year. I had a routine in the morning and I've maintained it. Now I got pushed up a little bit because I don't have to get up as early as I did before. However, every day I get up and I meditate, I journal. I just do the things that I believe centers me so that I can be prepared for the plethora of things that might be thrown my way that day. And also, a biggest part of my motivation is a large body of people that depend on me. So I have to be ready at all times for what's ahead. And so, I've never been a lounger. I've never been a person that kind of just like lays around and chills. I'm always doing something. If I'm not doing something for school or educational related, I am preparing something for the community or for one of my nonprofits. I'm just always busy. So
you get a nice work balance kind of going there.
I pray so.
So for students and families who haven't necessarily found that groove yet, what would you recommend that they do? Or do you have any strategies really that you could offer them in this time?
Actually, the biggest thing that I've shared with people is there is something that we all like to do. And it's usually beyond sleeping and eating, because sometimes you ask people that's their first response. But if you like cooking, if you like writing, if you like reading, trying to ensure that you schedule yourself in your day. So we schedule so many things we ought to leave ourselves out of the equation, and it's important that we write ourselves in. And also, if you're not sure what that thing is that you're good at or that you like to do, this is time to explore and try to cultivate something of interest to you. And so I've been encouraging my students to check out other books and authors that I think that they would be interested in based on what they liked in my classroom. I had some students who are really into art, and so I've been sending them things and pictures of what I've been doing. It's inspired them to do things. They send me pictures back. And so, just helping to fuel your passion at home and spending time with that instead of just sleeping all day.
That's very nice regiment there, and good advice. It's appreciated. I know that you had mentioned books that you kind of recommend to some of your students. Are there any books you recommend to your students to like read, or activities that you could offer to like our audience?
So I am a big fan of a group called Project Lit, and they can easily be found online, but they have a book list for middle school students and high school students. Okay. And they are all diverse texts, high interest, and they have helped me to re-engage readers who may not have liked to read previously or before my class. And so anybody who has asked me for a book recommendation, I send them a link to the Project Lit book list. And so my recommendation for books is to Google search Project Lit, LIT, and then you'll see they have about 3 or 4 years worth of book lists. That every year they come out with about 20 different books that they recommend to students of those age groups. And my students they were reading them up before the quarantine, and they're still asking for suggestions and things even while home. And so I'm still trying to send those texts and help them find access to those while they're home.
Okay. So we're going to do one final question. And I was just wondering, and especially for kids who are kind of worried about making it to the end of the school year, or as senioritis hits and now your bed is literally 2 feet away from you, can you kind of just give like a bit of a positive message to students who are really just trying to like get to the end of the school year, especially for our older students?
One thing that all students need to do, no matter what grade level they're in, is give themselves some grace right now, to not stress so much about school. We have a lot of things coming at us right now. Some people are worried about family members that are still working and being out and about. Some people might not have home circumstances that they're particularly fond of. And so right now it's just important to make sure you're in a good headspace. That's essential. That's why it's essential for you to have that passion, because that can kind of help ground you when you feel stressed. Taking time out for yourself. There might be people that you live with, you might be, as a kid say, irked by them. And so, just finding space in places where you can just go and just de-stress and be alone. It's important to have some alone time. It's also important to connect with people who are going to build you positively. And so I know that a lot of my scholars, they talk to each other, but sometimes the friends that they choose to converse with may not always have a positive message for them. And in this time, we don't know what lies ahead, and there's so many uncertainties that it's important that we talk to someone who's going to say, you can make it, you can do it. What did you do today? Let me see it. And somebody that kind of inspires and motivates you. Have that person on deck to talk to, as well as the friend that just wants to talk about Netflix.
Yeah, and that is really great advice, to make sure that you, and especially during this time, surround yourself with people, obviously from a distance, who can be there to like support you during this time and support your passions, because you should take these next couple of weeks, and this goes for everyone, to do things that really like move you forward in life. So that is all the time that we have for today. And I just want to quickly say thank you so much for joining me in this interview today and taking time out of your social distancing to answer a few questions.
And thank you for having me. Thanks to all the people involved in Team City Schools for all they're doing right now. It's a difficult time for all of us, but we can get through it.
Most definitely. And a huge thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in today. Be sure to stay safe. And this has been Imani Humphreys-Torres for the City Schools TV, coming to you guys from my screen to yours during quarantine. See you next time.